just this, then you can actually play the whole piece, because those are the basic motions that we're using. We just have to activate our fingers. So let's take a look at how we actually do that. Again, if we just take the outlines, if you play just eighth notes on the beats and off beats with an arm impulse, slow that down, it would be like this. So when we add this slowly together, you can see that all we have is a three-note slur, except for that the first note gets more of an accent. And that is just a basic sort of vibrato type of motion where we're shaking out the hands and using an arm impulse. If we tried to play this with just fingers like this, the hand would tend to look like this as well, and it would be very difficult to play. So that makes these first four measures quite easy. Perhaps looking at measure 4 is worth just a little bit of extra putting it under the microscope, where we pluck off of these chords and jump into the next position. So when we have in measure 4, the downbeat is E minor, and jumping into position over to B major. And you might notice actually in the overhead camera that I actually jumped only to about here. If you look really closely, I didn't quite make it to the D sharp. So I would measure that again until it feels like I'm landing right in place. One of these times I kind of went sort of like this, a little bit too far and came in. Treat that as a mistake, and you'll train your hand to go exactly where it needs to go. And to keep, pretty soon you do at least 3 of them in a row, you realize that you're landing right over the black keys. I'm a big believer in playing right over the center of the black key as opposed to a little bit to one side, because that's where inaccuracy can really take place. We have a little bit more room for error when we play a white key, but even there we want to try to aim for the middle as much as possible. It's just not as vital as when we play a black key. So when we play from that to here, again, we've practiced getting there first, and then we have those chords. In the next section, which is really the B section, the A section is 4 measures, and then the B section that follows is 8 measures with a repeat. And then we get an A section and a B section, and that's it. So the piece takes less than a minute usually to play. And there's a very Schumann-esque line, that is, it's arcing and sort of longing, this character of going upward like this, with that articulated suspension there at the top, that dissonance. Very similar to things that we've heard in other music by Schumann. So as we play this, I'd recommend a fingering that can really facilitate that legato, and then letting go of the bottom voice, and then moving quickly up there. I think that's what the hairpin means. As we learned from studying hairpins, particularly from Brahms and Fanny Hensel, who have given us good information about what hairpins really mean, that they are modes of expression and not dynamics, or not merely dynamics. In this case, if you were going to sing that, it would have a little bit more impetuousness, more of the energy of the Florestan part of Schumann's personality. If we have the impetuous, playful Florestan and the poetic, intimate, very introverted and introspective Eusebius, this is very much Florestan energy that is zooming forward.